Have you ever had it where you have like a kind of like red flag about yourself that you never recognize as a red flag or like an ick until, you know, you're in the moment with someone and they're like, okay, stop doing that right now. This is mine, right? I know I don't look like I've got big boobs right now, right? But I would say for my size, I've got large breasts because at night time, when I sleep on my side, I get like loads of wrinkles here. So I was freaking out. I was like, how am I gonna like prevent getting wrinkles? So I had a sleepover with my ex who hasn't seen me in a really long time, and I didn't used to do this, right? But I was like sleeping over, he turned around to me at some point and I just suddenly had this strut, imagine, right? We're together, come back to yours, you turn around and I'm like this. And also topless, so the boobs are at this, it's very unattractive, it's not cute, right? And he's like, oh my god, ew, why are you wearing that? And I'm like, whoa, it's my nighttime chest pillow to prevent wrinkles. He was like, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen and I never want to be with you again.
You think those are real?
Well, I hate to break it to you, sister, but that boob pillow? Yeah, that was just a convenience thing. You know how you and your kind have those unlimited ick lists for where you'll find something incredibly specific to fuel your disgust for men? Yeah, Chet has the same thing, except he does it a lot faster and with significantly more impact. You see, he probably already had the excuse on standby to never see you again. You just sweetened the deal with that little bedroom accessory you got packing betwixt your fun bags there. So you gave him the perfect cover story to never want to see you again. I mean, he did pop up out of the blue and was looking for some low-effort bedroom fun, but he needed the excuse to never see you again, and for once in your life, you finally did some heavy lifting and gave that guy the perfect excuse. But don't worry, sister. I'm sure he'll find another broad with a better act soon enough. Your stupidity gave him the extra motivation for that.
That's funny because it's so true.
If I ask you what kind of music you like and you look me in my eyes and you tell me, oh, just everything, you know, I just like everything except country. I'm going to put Imagine Dragons on in your car and I'm gonna pretend I love it. I'm gonna put on AJR, Christian death metal. You do not get to say that. How many genres of music are there? Let's Google that. 41 primary genres, 330 subgenres. And if you open it up, really, it's gotta be thousands. There is no way that you like all of those. And I used to be one of you too, okay? Oh, I just like everything, you know. Just name an artist. Go to your notes app and write down what genres you like. I'm trying to talk about music with you. If I ask you that question, I don't care if you say some shit I've never heard of. I will say, oh, you know, thank you for opening my mind to new things. Tell me more. I like everything. I'm putting on Kim Kardashian's single. That's what I'm putting on. And you're gonna like it.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Woman, if you ever pull that crap in a dude's car, then you have straight up violated the right of the passenger DJ. That is a sacred trust that once violated, that man, as the driver, is now well within his rights to not only scold you for playing terrible music while he's driving, but also kick you out of his car with this type of game that you're playing. Some dudes aren't hyper elites when it comes to music. They don't follow the up-and-coming post-punk gangsta folk rap country movement. It's an overly generalized question that warrants an overly generalized answer, and your first inclination is to punish the man for not taking your question seriously. Well, don't worry your ugly little head, sister. Once you're finally kicked to the curb, you'll be able to blast whatever hardcore alternative outlaw polka that you want at the wall. Hell, you probably won't even be the only one who does that.
Nothing humbles a man faster than realizing the woman he took for granted is still the woman that everybody wants. I call it Baddy amnesia because so often access breeds entitlement. He thought he was entitled to a woman like you until that access is taken away, but that's not when he regrets it. When he starts to regret losing you is when you go on and you do better. Because so long as you're down in the dumps, he feels justified. He still thinks that the grass is greener on the other side. But when you build in silence and you let your success speak for you, that is actually what guts him like a fish. Because you become a walking contradiction of the story he tells himself to go to bed at night. Because what he wants to believe is that you are too much. But when you go on and you level up, your excellence exposes his mediocrity. And so you become a trigger. And the woman who triggers a man controls his mind. Now he gets to watch you from the nosebleeds when he knows he used to have backstage access. And that is the kind of pain he will carry in his chest till the day he dies.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
Got a question for you there, sweetheart. Why is it so important for the man to feel humbled? This is a guy that you left, i.e. you didn't want him anymore. So if he's no longer in your life, then you shouldn't care about what he thinks one way or the other. But you're telling women to relish the idea that a man whose heart you broke, or more likely a man who couldn't stand seeing your average looking face anymore, that the only way that you can boost up your ego is to try and hurt him. Either way, it's the same freaking thing. It's not enough for you to live a good life. You have to hurt this man for years on end because you can't stand the fact that he doesn't want you anymore. And if you're trying to level up just to spite a guy, then you've pretty much established that you're not interested in becoming a better person. You just want to make the world a worse place by relishing the idea of hurting another man for life just to protect your fragile little ego. And failing miserably in the process, I might add.
No one makes friends with a failure. Okay? You understand?
I just got ghosted.
I'm shocked.
I just did my makeup and my hair, asked him where we're going, and he never replied. I'm gonna tell you the whole story. We matched on a dating app, and he's being so keen. Love to take you out. We should definitely do something. I'm like, yeah, let's do something. Obviously, he should be planning the date. I have to plan the date. This is the best at taking off the makeup, by the way. I just took it off in 0.5 seconds, and I go in with this boring cleansing gel. Anyway, so he's like, oh, I'm not from London. He's from Spain. Do you have any suggestions of places to go in London? I'm like, there's this thing called ChatGPT. There's this thing called Do Your Research. Anyway, I'm like, I'm based in this area of London. If you want to book somewhere there. I didn't give him any suggestions. Go online and book a nice place. I'm sorry, am I overreacting?
Whoa.
Well, yes, you are overreacting, woman. This guy was brain damaged enough to want to take you out on a date. He's not a local, and he wanted to do something with you that you would enjoy and explore a part of the city that he's never been to before. He's a stranger in a strange land, and he wanted you to be his guide. And you, in not so many words, told him that you were too lazy and entitled to recommend a few spots that would make for an enjoyable dining experience. You think recommending a place for a nice light lunch is somehow the same thing as a lightning strike military POW rescue operation with crackerjack timing. He assumed that you would know a few cool places since this is where you live, but you either don't or you're too lazy to take 3 seconds to make a recommendation. So, of course he ghosted you. This man is a Spaniard, and if he's on a dating app, he's a really good-looking Spaniard. His options are limitless, and yours are getting more and more limited by the day, and with that attitude, it's not gonna help you at all, woman.
So anyway, he's like, okay, I'll think of someone. Don't hear from him for 4 days. By the way, if you don't want to wear foundation, it just makes your skin look all one color. So it comes to today, and I'm getting ready, and I don't hear anything from him. I should have known at this point. I wait till 12, chase him again. I can't believe I'm actually such a... It's like, are we still meeting later? No response. It's now 3 o'clock, and I think I've been ghosted. So this CC eye cream, look how awake I look now. I looked so sad before. I'm joking. Moral of the story is, he hasn't planned the date, don't get ready for the date. Just don't ever chase a guy. If he wanted to, he would, and he didn't. So I'm gonna take the loss and take my dog for a walk.
Cool.
Well, that's where you're wrong, sister. The moral of the story is to not be such an entitled female dog. You could have had a nice time with a good guy if he just took 2 seconds out of your life to recommend a place for the two of you to eat. It would have been in a neighborhood you knew with food that you liked, and you wouldn't have even had to have paid for it. But apparently, if a man isn't willing to offer you burnt sacrifices to ChatGPT in an attempt to find a bistro for you, then that's just a sign that he's going to be a terrible father. You got ghosted not because of his inability to plan a date, but your unwillingness to be a nice human being for once in your life. So why would that man bother? This is the type of man who can woo women with his language alone. Have you ever heard a foreign man ask where is the library in his native tongue? It doesn't matter where he's from. For a guy like that, that's certified grade A panty peeler, sister. It's not like you're ever gonna find out though. We're too busy asking where all of the good men are, and much like whether or not Jason has been stopped for good at Camp Crystal Lake, we're not telling.
You have failed conclusively. It's over. And there is nothing that you can do here in this room that can turn that around.
If you want my advice, ladies, boys, do not waste time with boys. They will always find a way to break your heart or play games with you or toy around with you. Like, I am just so done crying and being sad over boys. Like even having guy friends, like, they're just so Like, if they don't like you, they are like, they make the worst friends, they make the worst partners. Like, men will always disappoint you. Like, there is never a time where they will not disappoint you. They could say they love you and they'll get with another girl. They could say that they care about you and care about your feelings and they'll blow you off. Like, they are very self-centered, and I think it's naive to think any differently about men. And don't waste your time being sad over a boy. Just don't do it. I spent so much of my time doing that. I won't do it again.
Fascinating.
All right, great. So you're done with the men. So why are you still talking about them? You'd think that if you were so sick and tired of partying it up with Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Marco, Gavin, Nigel, Pookie, Ray Ray, Chang, Wang, Takeda, and the Octagon, then you wouldn't even want to talk about it anymore, let alone proclaim it to the world. But there's no way that you're done, sister. You are clad in the leopard print, which is the standard issue BDU for the modern urban life failure, which clearly indicates to all of us that you're not only interested in men, but you will continue to chase the very same quote-unquote boys that you claim are all evil heartbreakers who just want to toy with your emotions because you're an easy boudoir conquest. It's fairly obvious, so you go ahead and proclaim that you're finally happy to be free of those boys as you feebly attempt to hold back your tears. I imagine you got about 2.5 hours before the inevitable breakdown. Not like James Darnell, the newest member of the bounty board over on Patreon. Thank you so much for your generosity, man. And the Intergalactic Space God Naman all hail has already set up your crazy comfortable recliner in his man cave. And let me tell you, brother, you got the best view of his infinite DVD collection. So in other words, you got the best seat in the house. And when you got buddies at the bounty board all hanging out in quality recliners and watching Kurt Russell movies, and you know you're in for the best movie-going experience ever. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the bounty board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to—
Ladies, you will not believe how quickly and how devastatingly this man messed up this dating exchange on an app. When I tell you, my jaw was on the floor. Okay, so this guy posts a little pic with his golden retriever, classic. And our eligible bachelorette comes in with a quick and funny little line here. How do I get a date with that handsome devil in tan? So first off, she's funny. We know she's funny. Beautiful opener. Let's see how he responds. He fires back, I can ask him and follow up with you. Okay, we like to see it. He's playing along. He gets the joke. No red flags here. We're feeling good, right? I'd really appreciate it. Tell him I like long walks and I can bring treats. Again, this is what I love to see. We're riffing, we're joking, we're aligned here, right? Let's see if this guy can stick the landing. He says, do you like? So in 4 exchanges, we went from goofing around about the dog to this. Tell me more about that loneliness epidemic.
Lady, you are obviously in your 30s and you're still on the dating apps, so I don't think you should be making any form of commentary when it comes to male loneliness. You see, you think that just because you're desperate, you can change the rules of dating apps, even though you obviously took an active participation in ensuring that the dating apps were nothing more than a service provider for you. Free food, fun trips, and ample fun time with your horrific slime bunker of human failure. And you don't get to change the rules just because you're looking to settle. And shaming a dude who's looking to hook up doesn't make you the victim. It makes you pathetically lonely and incredibly spiteful. So, in a way, yeah, I guess that does shine a light on the loneliness epidemic. But let me tell you, sister, it doesn't have anything to do with men.
You know that. Of course I do, sir. Everybody knows that. Of course we do, sir.
If you're a man, I have a question for you. How do I phrase this? Do you guys get upset, or like what emotion do you feel when you start to see, or get to the age when you start to see all of your friends getting proposed to and engaged? You know, like, how do you feel? As a girl, kind of makes me feel like when I would see my friends get proposed to or get married, I'd just be like, first of all, I'm like, when will it be my turn? Not in a jealous or envious way, like I'm so happy for them, but I'm just like, when will it be my turn? And then I'm kind of just like, frick, am I falling behind? Like, am I doing something wrong? Should I be already engaged at the age of 23. But I feel like that's very common for girls to feel like that because, like, obviously we dream of our wedding day and whatever. But, like, how do you guys feel? How do men feel when they start seeing that their friends, their best friends, are getting engaged? Like, how do y'all feel? Obviously, you're probably happy for your friends, but do you feel something, like, deep down, like, envy, jealousy, like you're falling behind? Like, do you feel anything?
No.
Well, it really just depends on the dude. If it's that one jagoff mooch that nobody likes but can't get rid of, we'll laugh our asses off as he makes a horrible decision with his life while simultaneously dreading the knowledge that he's going to be mooching off of us even harder after she files for a divorce. If the dude is a friendly well-wisher, then it really depends on whether or not we have a neurologist in our direct social circles, but typically speaking, we'll probably take gentlemen's bets on how soon his wife will file for divorce, but that honestly depends on the jurisdiction involved. But if a dude is a legitimately good guy, we'll probably find an empty oil drum and repurpose it for the collection of our loose change to help the guy out when his wife ultimately files for divorce. You'd be surprised how good a man can compile a large container's worth of loose change. It's actually kind of uncanny. But the one thing we really don't do is wish it was us, sister. Most of us know the pure hell that likely awaits a man after he walks down the aisle.
We eat the pig and then together we burn! Burn!
Oh my God, it happened. It happened. It happened. My 13-year-old daughter just came to me and said, Mom, hey, Mom, I want to watch Twilight.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Oh my God, I've been waiting for this day since the second the doctor turned to me and said, hey, it's a girl. I have been waiting that long. We're gonna need to do this right. We're gonna need pillows, we're gonna need blankets, we're gonna need tissues, we're gonna need snacks, we're gonna need the boys to leave the premises for at least the next 24 hours. Oh my God, I'm so excited. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I only get one shot, so I gotta do it right. I gotta make it count. I gotta do it right. She's not emotionally prepared for what comes next, and that's my job. I'm gonna get her there, but I'll keep you up to date.
No, that's not necessary.
Wait, come on. There is no way that your daughter asked you if you could show her the Twilight movie. You talked about it endlessly and she finally caved in to shut you up. Openly proclaiming that you're a Twilight fan ended 2 seconds after walking out of the final movie. But you're standing there and thinking that you're finally going to connect with your daughter. But connect over what exactly? A movie about an incredibly bland, selfish, and uninteresting high school chick who glorifies uninteresting codependent relationships with an impossibly built vampire who isn't even allowed the dignity of burning in sunlight, by the way, as she emotionally abuses the impossibly built werewolf who will end up growing to pork her baby daughter after the day she turns 18. And you somehow are excited for this? Woman, there are only a handful of movies that are considered acceptable rites of passage. Ghostbusters, Animal House, Tombstone, Porky's, Big Trouble in Little China, Terminator 2, and Dirty Work. And if you're willing to bend us some of the rules, then you could probably get away with Pulp Fiction, but again, that depends on the jurisdiction. Anything less is pretty much a crime against your own children. And I wouldn't expect anything less from you, sister. You are a Twilight fan after all. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.